I have tasted all the flavored tequilas that are in the market right now. This is the gold standard, without any question. From here on, all flavored tequilas are going to be measured by this, pure and simple.
First, I was so thrilled that they did it with the reposado, because I would have thought, oh, they're going to put it into the plata, you know, but they gave us a base spirit that has so much depth, and then added the hibiscus and the port cask. It just was so beautiful, and I was so thrilled because it's not generally something that I would speak about, let alone carry. And then when I started mixing with it, I was even more excited because it was so versatile in all of the cocktails that I created.
When I started reviewing spirits back in the late 80s, tequila was not exactly a top-class drink at the time. And within the span of just 20 years, we have a phenomenal transformation with tequila. Tequila is one of the hottest categories in spirits right now. This is due in large part to companies like Gran Centenario, because they have brought tequila to world-class level. Another thing about Gran Centenario is they do not harvest until 10 years, until the agave is 10 years. Now, the industry standard is about 6 to 8 years. Gran Centenario believes, let's let these agaves ripen to their maximum. In fact, let's let them go off the charts. Also, something that Gran Centenario does is when they're cooking the piña, they cook them for 72 hours. The industry standard is about 40 to 48. The reason that Gran Centenario cooks them 50% longer than the industry standard is because it rounds out the juice. The agave juice is what this is all about. This is agave juice that's been fermented and distilled. So if you can possibly get the best juice, the highest quality juice that you can, why not do it? Gran Centenario pioneered using never-before-used French oak from the Limousin forest. Now, this was unheard of, because most of the distillers in Mexico use old bourbon casks, bourbon that has been aged once, or Jack Daniel's Tennessee sour mash whiskey, another very good source of barrels for the distilleries in Mexico. They pioneered using French Limousin oak only. That had never been used before. Now, French Limousin oak is important because it has a very, very tight grain, much tighter than American oak. And it also lends wonderful flavors, especially when it's new and not having been used before. But it lends flavors like vanilla bean and citrus and almost like rose petals, very exotic stuff. Then they did something really creative, and they put the 10-month-old reposado in port casks for 2 months. And in part, that's why this lovely color is there. But the port aspect was important because the hibiscus infusion, now this is infused with hibiscus. Culturally, hibiscus is very, very important in Mexico in particular, so it's really just that right theme. This is a very important plant. It has very, very beneficial aspects to it in terms of it's a diuretic. It's used in herbal teas.
When they first told me about the Rosangel, I was very skeptical because I don't, you know, my bars, we carry almost no flavored spirits. Generally because they're just, have not been very impressed by any of them, and I generally prefer to take whatever they're infusing it, you know, it's raspberry or it's orange. I would rather use the fresh ingredient than have a spirit that's already flavored. And mixing with this, you know, it was funny because they asked me, oh, you know, create 2 cocktails for us, and I started playing around with it, and it was so beautiful in cocktails, and not only, you know, the classic style cocktails, but tropical cocktails, more citrus forward, savory. It just works so well across the board, and everything that I generally like to mix reposados with, it worked with. But then because of the addition of the hibiscus and the floral notes and the extra fruit that you get from it, it was, I had sort of open season to so many different things, and I ended up giving them 6 cocktails instead of 2 because I just couldn't choose, and you know, I said let them choose.
And all 6 were just off the charts.